All right, what is good, ladies and gentlemen, is the Mass Ranker back again with another ranking, and today we are doing a ranking for all of the Shrek and Puss in Boots films. I actually initially recorded I initially recorded a video of me ranking the Shrek movies and all of the Shrek characters, but then I did ultimately decide that I want to also include the Puss in Boots movies because I wouldn't be able to because I figured eventually I would get to collectively ranking all of them together, and so I just figured I might as well just review the films first and then just include them in the rankings as well. So that is what we are going to be doing today, and yeah, let us just get into it, starting off with Shrek the Third. And yeah, this is honestly a lot of people don't like this film. I do know that. I know that everyone says the second one is the best one and the third one is the worst one in the franchise, but honestly, this is a hot take. I don't even think it is a bad film. I thought it was honestly better than the second one. You have Shrek, he's not focusing on they're not focusing on the self-anxiety of Shrek that he had in the first two films, where it's he is upset at the world because they won't accept him as being an ogre and stuff, and it's they do that for the first film, which it's good, but then they keep on doing it in the second film where it's self-conscious about himself being an ogre and stuff. And there's here, I'm supposed to be talking about the third film. So the third film, it actually gets into a different phase of Shrek's life, where it's he's worried about being a parent, which I think it's a pretty good thing for him to be. I think that's a good challenge for him to face. You have Shrek, Donkey, and Puss. They go on this journey in order to bring Arthur to become the new king, because Shrek does not want to be the king of Far, Far Away as well. And so yeah, I think that there is good moments between the core main trio. I guess Fiona, she gets honestly, after the first film, Fiona just doesn't really feel as much of a prominent character as she was in the first film. But yeah, anyway, this film, I think that Prince Charming, he has a good motivation to actually be a villain of he and the rest of the fairy tale creatures that he teams up with. They are they're part of fairy tales, but they were the ones that didn't get the happy ending. So I think it's good motivation for them to be villains. I would say it's better than this. A lot of this is just me comparing the third film to the second film. The second film, it's the fairy godmother. Her motive is just she wants her son to be king of Far, Far Away, which it doesn't feel a very, I don't know. At the very least, Prince Charming, he's doing what he's doing for himself. So it feels better, I guess. And so this film also has a lot more, probably the most usage of all the fairy tale creatures, Gingy, Pinocchio, the three pigs, as well as you have also a bunch of princesses in the mix as well. Cinderella, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel, those characters, I think that they're all good. Overall, it's not a great film or anything, but I do think that it is definitely a solid C tier, I would give it. Next is Shrek Forever After. I would give this one probably between A and B tier, and it's either a low A tier or a high B tier, I would give it. And I think I'm going to, as I let it marinate, I think it gets better as I let it marinate. I'm going to give it a low A tier. I think that this film is great. It's probably my second favorite one from the actual Shrek franchise. And yeah, it is just as great. Probably one of the best plots of it's the most serious one. Definitely, it's the one that it sacrifices comedy for the sake of just having this really good story of Shrek wanting just this one day to go back to how things used to be of him being an ogre, and he ends up inadvertently mistakenly sacrificing his entire life. And so the stakes are the highest in this film compared to any of the previous ones, and just overall it is just a really well-told story. And the only downside is that it does sacrifice some of the comedic elements, where I think the first original film did a very good job of balancing both the serious tone of the film with the comedic elements, I would say. So yeah, this film definitely, I would say, solid. Yeah, low A tier, I would give it. Next is Puss in Boots, where I like the Puss in Boots movies just better than the Shrek films. Yeah, I like this film a lot, the original Puss in Boots film. I would give solid A tier. I think that this was a great film. Really does a great job of actually portraying Puss's character much better than the actual Shrek films. Where in the Shrek films, you can see here he just feels he's not treated. He feels like he's treated like a joke, honestly, throughout all of the Shrek films. In the fourth film, he just gets fat. That's the whole joke with him. In the second film, where he's actually introduced initially, he gets hired to kill Shrek. And I'm assuming this is the same Puss from this film is the same one from the actual Shrek film. So it's this character ends up fighting death itself in The Last Wish, but then he ends up losing to Shrek when he meets him in the second film. So it just, yeah, the Shrek films don't do the best job of portraying him as this legendary, I don't know, not mercenary necessarily, but legendary figure, I guess, warrior, whatever you want to call him. And I think this film does a much better job of portraying Puss as a much cooler, very capable fighter, I guess. And so I like Kitty Softpaw. She's great. I think that Humpty Dumpty is actually a pretty good villain. The only issue with him is that I do think that it's kind of weird. He's I want revenge on Puss because he betrayed me. But then at the very same time, it's very obvious that Humpty tricked Puss into helping him with the heist at San Ricardo Bank. And so it does feel a bit okay, he's overlooking the fact that he himself also wronged Puss. So But even so, I still think that Humpty is a great villain. Jack and Jill, they're good characters. The actual settings itself, like, it's much more desert, a lot of desert areas, a lot more rugged, I would say, and I think it all works very well. And so, yeah, I would give it a solid A tier. Now, Puss the Last Wish, however, this one's, a lot of people would agree with me on this. This is definitely an S tier film. It looks visually beautiful. The characters are great. Like, I don't think there's like any bad characters in this film, to be honest. I'm excited to do the character ranking and to rate the characters because they are just all great. I'm glad that they brought back Kitty Softpaws. Like, it's Humpty, it doesn't really get a reference in this film, but it is nice that Kitty returns for this one. All the new characters, Goldilocks, Jack Horner, Death itself, I think that they are all fantastic characters. Again, visually, it looks really good. I love the actual plot itself of Puss dealing with more I keep getting mistaken this, mortality, not morality. He's like, the whole film is like him learning to deal with the fact that he has like one life and that he needs to like cherish it and not be reckless and stuff. So I think that that is a fantastic plot. And yeah, other people have said it before, like it's an interesting theme to tackle in a children's movie. It's not even a children's movie necessarily. There's like moments where it's like there's blood in this film, like not a lot, but very slightly. And they do like censor curses here and there. So definitely feels like a more mature film compared to a lot of other films that like kids would go to see. So definite S-tier film, just, yeah, best one in the franchise, 100%. And yeah. This is the original Shrek film. I would give this one probably mid-A tier. I still think, again, I just like the Puss in Boots. I personally just prefer them more than the Shrek films, but I do like this is my favorite one in the Shrek franchise, the original one. It is a very good film of like basically doing a switcheroo on the classic story of the prince rescuing the princess from the tower and basically having an ogre do it on behalf of the prince, and then subsequently the princess, she's also half ogre, and then she falls in love with the ogre instead of the prince. So it's a nice like twist on a I guess classic fairy tale. And yeah, it's the Shrek and Donkey, I think that their like interactions are the best in this film. Fiona herself also has like the most prominence in this film. It does, I mentioned before, it does a great job of like balancing the actual comedic tone of the film along with the serious moments and stuff of like Shrek being insecure about like him being an ogre and stuff. And so yeah, overall just a lot of great elements. Solid A-tier film, I would give it. And then finally Shrek 2. Honestly, I don't know what people see in this one, to be honest. I don't like it. This film has no clear like end goal, which I appreciate that at the very least. Every other film in the franchise, it's like Shrek the Third, it's stop Prince Charming from taking over the kingdom and get Arthur like to become king. That's like the end goal. In Shrek Forever After, it's basically stop Rumpelstiltskin from taking over, and basically Shrek is trying to kiss Fiona, basically. In the first film, it's like rescue Fiona, take her to Lord Farquaad, and then eventually save Fiona. This film, it's basically Shrek goes to far, far away, and Fiona's parents are kind of like prejudiced towards him because he's an ogre. And then, but there's no like end goal in mind. It's like we're just like watching scenes of like characters and the relationship going on between, I guess, Shrek and Fiona when they're fighting, or Shrek and like Fiona's parents and stuff where they're not getting along. And then yeah, Fairy Godmother and her whole thing, it's like she doesn't even have a good plan. It's just like basically she tells King Harold, she's like, oh, get rid of Shrek. It's like, okay, she doesn't even do it herself. She just delegates the task to King Harold. Eventually Shrek ends up going to see Fairy Godmother himself, where she doesn't even, like in the moment, she doesn't actually help him out, which it could have been better if maybe like she used it as an opportunity to give him the potion, because at least it would have been her idea. But then Shrek himself takes the potion that like makes him like handsome and stuff and turns him into human, and then Fairy Godmother's like, oh, we can use this to our advantage. It's like she didn't even come up with the plan. So yeah, it just so happens eventually you get to like the third act of the film, where I do like the third act. I think that the third act is probably the best part of the film. And yeah, so but overall, the plot did not work at all for me. I do like the new additions. Again, this film did introduce Puss in Boots. I think that King Harold is also pretty good, as well as the Queen. I forgot her actual name, but the Queen is also a good character. Prince Charming, also a nice addition to the cast. And I don't really, I already said I did. I think Fairy Godmother, she has like good moments and stuff, like when she has the joke about her breaking her die and stuff. I thought that was good. But the actual character herself, like as a villain, I don't think that she is. I like every other villain probably in this franchise more than her, I would say. So yeah. And yeah, that is pretty much all there is to it. So yeah, this is my ranking of all of the Shrek / Puss in Boots movies. And so if you have any recommendations, any shows, movies, video game stories, anime, manga, web series, anything that you want me to review or rank or compare rankings, it does not have to be media related. It can be anything. Leave it in the comments and I will maybe possibly check it out. With that said, that is pretty much all there is to it. So let's leave it at that.